question I'm getting to is, I guess I don't know what to do with the conscious manifestation of it. Like, am I supposed to do that all the time? So that's part of the question.
Awareness of it is really all we're asking. A desire for it, an awareness of it when it's happening. Not a quest for it, because that puts tension in it. Just an awareness of what it feels like to be in that natural state of connection. Because when you think about it, since you are a vibrational being and you're always offering a vibration, then you are always under the influence, you might say, of something, either source or some other stream of thought. And so by being aware of that, then you can guide yourself. It's like your inner being is out ahead of you, and you could almost hear your inner being saying, follow me. And if you were to say, where are you going? To everything you've been asking for and all the fun along the way. Follow me. Just follow me. It would be like if you were to say, well, you know, da-da-da-da-da isn't going well, and your inner being says, follow me. Your inner being doesn't say, well, what do you mean? And what's bothering you? Your inner being just says, follow me. Let's go over here. And when you are practiced as you are, then it's easy for you to do that. And that's what's happening when you are feeling those ways that you were describing. The words that Esther writes most often that she likes to focus and feel is lighthearted. As she used to say to Jerry, let's go get a Coke and go for a drive and pretend like we're on vacation. Not because they weren't always on vacation, because they were, but because she remembered what it felt like when she wasn't always on vacation to go on vacation, or to think about going on vacation. That feeling of releasing everything unwanted and just going to something that felt wonderful, that lighthearted feeling. Yes.
Yeah, and so that's part of it. And then somewhere in here there's real questions.
It's all right. We know there is, and we are willing to wait.
I've projected in my life so often, let's call them grandiose ideas. Let's say futures where I want to be, right? Like,
well, let's not call them grandiose. Let's call them the next logical step.
Agreed. And so I've often myself, when I hear people say, oh, da da da, you know, like that's, you know, do what you're doing or do your homework or whatever, right? So I kind of put them aside, and I don't want to. Agreed. But
can you hold your thought while we pick around this just a little bit? We can feel that you don't mean that they are grandiose, but what can feel that you do mean is that other people think they are. And that's the piece that trips you up, because when you try to see your vortex through the eyes of others who can't see it, they're not meant to see it, then it introduces unnecessary resistance. And so that's why it's a good idea to just keep things to yourself, because nobody argues with you being lighthearted. In fact, when you plan a party, aren't those the people you want to invite? Oh, I'm having a party. Really? Who are you inviting? Well, I thought I would just invite everybody that I know who's depressed and see if we can't just sort of cheer them up a little bit. And even you don't want to go to that party. But when you're thinking about getting together, don't you like those fun-loving, light-hearted, easy-going, easy-laughing, playful people? That's the way you want to be. That's the way you naturally are. And when you were a kid, that's the way you dominantly were. The word dominant is really what we want to introduce into this conversation, because as we were saying earlier, we are not asking you to let go of responsibilities or things that you feel like are important for you to do to maintain the continuity of your life experience. Of course, that's part of life. We just want the part that is dominant to be the lighthearted part, the easier going part, the believing in all possibilities part, knowing the power of the universe and knowing your ability to connect to it, knowing your ability to be under the influence. And we want to say to you, there's nothing serious going on here. Let's stop making deliberate creation a serious thing, and let's just make it a fun and natural thing. And after a little while, it will just start feeling odd to you. Esther sometimes will say, how did I get here? And then she remembers the series of serious decisions that she made in a responsible way to get to this place that she doesn't want to be. What am I doing here? What am I doing here with these serious people who think life is hard. I don't want to hang around with humans who don't get it. I want to play with the children whose parents are not good parents. I want to play with the children whose parents neglect them and don't helicopter over them and tell them everything they're supposed to do and think. The kids that still think that the world is their oyster and that everything revolves around them and life is supposed to be fun. And now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? That was really fun. Now what? Now what? And parents say, don't you ever get enough? No, because my inner being is out ahead of me saying, follow me, follow me, follow me. You said you like this, it's over here. You said you like this, it's over here. You said you like this, it's over here. We are not teaching irresponsibility. We're teaching leverage. We're teaching empowerment. We're teaching upliftment, you see. That's where you naturally are. That's who you dominantly are. And we don't just mean your inner being dominant. We can feel that's who you dominantly are. Just don't be surprised when others don't get it, because even you only get glimpses of it.
I'm trying to resolve this idea of ego, and maybe it's just a self-criticism. So I get the outside world saying, hey, and then, but when I think of something and then I myself become egotistical, I don't know how to resolve, I don't know how to understand.
Here's what we'd like to say to you about that. Vocabulary, conversation, words, it's sketchy at best because people use a lot of words and they mean a lot of different things when they use a lot of different words. And so when you all say ego, what we hear is focused personality. And you said, from your non-physical vantage point, before you emerged into this body, I'm going to go forth. That's a little egotistical. You didn't say we. I am going to go don a personality, which will be my point of focus. That's egotistical. That's focusistical. It's a point of attraction. You are a point of attraction. No one else can create for you. Only you can offer a vibration, and that vibration is coming because you are focusing. And so call that focus whatever you want, but don't diminish the value of it. The reason that people want to use ego or egotistical in a negative way is because they don't yet understand, they are not remembering or recalling, they're not actively engaged in their own deliberate creation. And so the way they're playing the game of their life so far is they are doing it through action, they are competitive and comparing activities, and what they mostly need from you is your help for them to be more of what they want. So they can't spare you caring about what you want. That's egotistical. They need you to help them with what they want, which somehow they don't see as egotistical.